Call the Board of Zoning Appeals for the Town of Chincoteague to order for September the 9th, 2021. Stand have the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Biden, would you give us, had a roll call for us, please?
Robert Church,
Present.
Michael McGee,
Here.
Ernest Smith,
Here.
David Landsberger,
Here.
Donald Thornton, absent, John Gillis, absent.
All right, need approval of the minutes from the previous meeting.
Mr. Chairman, before, I have something I'd like to add into the minutes,
Go ahead.
if that's okay. I'd like to have the minutes reflect that during the meeting, we spoke with the owner of the property and the contractor, and they both confirmed that no new bedrooms would be added to the property, and that was one of the reasons why we gave our approval.
Can you take care of putting that in, Mark?
That was recorded, so she'll pick it up
Okay.
in the morning when she does minutes.
All right. Any other changes to the minutes for the next meeting?
Make a motion that we accept.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And it's been approved, so with those changes. All right, just for information, you must have 4 affirmative votes, regardless of the number of members present at the board, for your appeal to be approved. And you have the right to appeal any decision of this board to the circuit court within 30 days. Mr. Biden, would you read the first case, or read the case, please?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Appeal number B 2108-101, Peter and Kathleen Becker, consideration of variance from Article 3, Section 3.9.32 of the zoning ordinance of the town of Chincoteague. The applicant wishes to construct a 12-by-12 porch and a 1-story 24-by-24 2-bedroom and a 3-by-25 6-back deck with a 3-foot-by-14 porch off the new bedroom on the above parcel located at 6024 Lewis Street, Chincoteague, Virginia.
Someone representing the case, please come to the podium and present your case. State your name for the record.
Yes, sir. Hi, folks. Laura Lintz. I've been here 30 years. Can't believe it. Greetings to people I haven't seen for a while. I'm the architect from the Beckers. This is Peter Becker here, and his wife Kathy can't be here. I just wanted to talk about some of the logistical situations of the site, and why we're asking for your consideration here. Do you mind if I step up there and just to show some things? It's the same thing you have, but
They
it's,
should have a copy.
it's just got maybe color on it. I just wanted to show you. The issue is that the red line is where the setback should be, and this is the actual property line from the survey that we had done recently by Shoreline Surveyor that Becker's never had a survey before, nor when they bought it. So we're looking with Main Street at the bottom and Lewis Street along here. And so they have a 25-foot setback, and they're supposed to have a 25-foot setback in the back. But the issue is that the lot is about 64 feet at the bottom and 72 feet at the top. So the total distance never gives you enough room to build much. What the issue was when the Beckers bought it was that, and Peter just found these, but this was the house that was moved there. They moved the whole thing in 1984, I think, as Mark has discovered. So it's a historic house, but it was placed sideways on the site, you know, along the front of the house is facing Main Street, and yet the front yard setback is along Lewis Street, but the long, narrow house wouldn't have fit going any other way. I was going to talk about the septic. The existing septic is a 2-bedroom septic, even though there is only 1 bedroom in the house. And then what's on here at the bottom of the page is a new septic design, because the existing septic would happen right here where the owners proposed to build their 1-bedroom and bath on the first floor. That's really the issue for the owners, is they have a bedroom on the second floor and the bath is on the first floor. And the stairs are, I think you've probably all been on stairs like this in the old waterman's cottage. They're crooked and they're 2 feet wide and they're steep. So that's the hardship for them. This shows the old septic location where we want to be building the addition. And Bob Savage has designed a 2-bedroom system that's right down here against the property line, and there's plenty of room to get to it, more than the minimum from the existing addition. And I did bring the big drawings, if anybody wants to look at them now, or I can leave them there, I'm not sure. What's helpful? Advice?
Anybody want to look at it?
Okay. I mean, so the green part is what's existing. On your drawing, I think it's gray. And then this black lines is the new 1-bedroom and then a bath. And that's handicap accessible. The screen porch is up here off of the kitchen. No screen porch. They'd like to be able to use the backyard. And the historic aspect really matters a lot. And one thinks about the hardship of losing our historic buildings because it's of value to the town and it's one of the main attractions to many, many people. So it's a dimensional issue and it's a functional issue about aging and place, and also keeping what we value and honoring the way it's built. It really wants to be all in a straight line. The house was placed in a in a unfortunate position. The zoning, I think, came in after the house was placed. Does that cover everything to you, Peter? I don't want to belabor myself. Any questions, ask me or ask me later.
Right while you're there, I guess we can ask you now if anybody has a question.
I have a couple of questions.
Sure.
Are the Russells I'm looking at the notifications that you've made to the adjacent property owners?
Yes, there are about, 6 of them, I think.
Yes, and if I'm correct, I think only 4 responded.
I would refer to Mark on that. And the owners have certified letters that they've sent to all the folks. I'm looking for go ahead.
I don't doubt that. In my packet, I only have 4 responses.
Like the report that I got back, that's on there. Now 6 lots, 6 lots, 2 of them on 2 lots, right?
Yes, that's right. And the thing that was newly purchased, Peter, you could perhaps help me, is that right next to you?
Is that the Russell property that was
That they just purchased.
from Scheibel or Shavel?
Yes, they're
Okay.
new owners.
So that's why it was written over. That's fine. I had that question.
And I believe you've spoken with them or left a message. Kathy left a message on their front steps, and because they hadn't spoken to them.
And we haven't received anything back from the Lewis?
No, as I understand it, they actually are from Baltimore, but they've moved to Richmond.
Okay.
So I think their tax records still reflect a Moncton address, Moncton, Maryland.
Oh, that's right.
But they now live in Richmond, so I'm not sure if the letter ever got to them.
Sure. Yes.
Couple of questions. Bunch of questions. First of all, you said it's handicap accessible. Now, how would that be? I don't see a ramp.
They haven't built a ramp because they don't need it yet, but it would be from the front, on the front side. There's no need for handicap accessibility.
It's not a handicap accessible house. You just said it was handicap accessible.
It's accessible on the inside, as is, it's all on one floor, and that's why the decks are on the outside.
Okay. Now, as I understand it, looking at this, the front door is currently on the side where you want to build the addition, correct? The current front door is through the porch.
The current front door is through the front porch towards Main Street.
Yeah.
The door that's used all the time is through the back, through the kitchen, right next to the driveway.
On the side. I understand that. But the current front door, the official front door, if you will, they use the door in the kitchen, is what you're telling me. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
But there is another door which you're going to eliminate by putting in this whole addition.
No, on the drawings,
So you're going to add a new front door with this porch in the front, which,
we're going through the same porch, but the entrance to that porch would be from Lewis Street rather than entering from the side of the porch facing Main
is no
Street.
longer going to be a porch. On this you're closing it.
You do see it, it's a foyer. Uh-huh.
I understand.
But it's built to look like a porch, that's why it looks like the same.
But you're going to change that if you add on to it.
We're enclosing that to be a finished space, so that it looks like this.
I understand.
Yeah, but it's enclosed. The idea then being that you would move from the existing living room, which is the oldest part of the house that has the old joists exposed. You'd go through the foyer into the master
I
bedroom.
understand. I'm trying to ask a different question, so let's try it again.
Sure.
Currently, there's two doors into the house. There's one on the on the
Right.
driveway, and there's one which is the old front door, which is on the porch, which is now going to be part of the house.
And then there's currently an entrance from the deck on the back, where the old septic system is, through a sliding door into near the kitchen.
Where the existing deck is.
Uh-huh.
But technically, there's no, unless you put in another front door, there's no other door really except out of the kitchen for emergency egress.
And this new drawing,
Right.
would have 3 doors,
But that's-
actually 4 doors.
You're adding a new front door. That's what I'm trying to get at. You're adding a new front door to the house.
We're moving the front door from the porch facing Main Street to the side of the porch facing
There's a
Lewis
new
Street.
front door. Because you're gonna eliminate the old front door because you're enclosing it in the foyer, so you're gonna put in a new front door on the side of where the current porch is.
On the Lewis Street side.
Onto Lewis Street, yeah, so you're gonna put a new front door. Okay, there is an existing deck now off the kitchen, correct, with sliding doors?
Yes, uh-huh.
Okay.
The things that are in solid black are new, and the non-colored.
One more question.
Sure,
Is
sure.
there any reason why you couldn't have taken this addition and offset it to the front of the house?
For the historic character of the house that was valued by the owners.
Well, so, but that's, I understand that, but in order to, if you've got enough room, you've got a 33-foot setback in the front. So if you, 35, 30, you've got 8 feet, you could have taken this entire addition and moved it 8 feet towards Lewis Street. Not changed it at all, just moved it 8 feet. And then your setback in the back would have gone from 18 to 26, which would have made it conforming, and then you wouldn't be here.
Well, it depends how you want to handle the decks and the screen porch. The screen porch would still be non-complying, and the decks would also be
I'm not talking
non-complying.
about the decks or the screen porches yet, because that's a whole nother issue. I'm just talking about the house. The hardship that I understand, and I understand very well, if you ever come to our meetings concerning auxiliary dwelling units, you'll understand that I'm a big proponent for me having other dwellings and other access. The hardship is that they need a bedroom on the first floor. Correct? That's the hardship that's here. That's what they really need to make their lives, to be able to age in place, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
The hardship is the dimensional aspect of having the main body of the house also being set not within the current setbacks.
That's not a hardship, that's an existing fact. The house is where the house is.
It's a matter of definition of the word hardship. It's a matter of what you value as a hardship.
We have very strict definitions of hardship in the code.
Yes, by your strict definitions, their hardship is that it is difficult to get up the stairs.
Thank you. Okay, that's the only questions I have right now. Thank you.
Any questions on
I got one question. Do you
Yep.
have a bedroom upstairs now?
There still is. It's really considered a half. I mean, it's got low walls on two sides, and then the center goes up. So yeah, the bedroom is still upstairs with that accessed by the 2-foot staircase so that would be a second bedroom, and they're provided that by their
The
septic.
only bedroom you got in the house, you just have, how many bedrooms do you have in the house?
In the house now, just the one.
Just the one. Sorry.
Yeah, and it has accessible windows, fire accessible, already in the gable ends. Just doesn't have a bathroom.
I don't know the question.
I have
Go ahead.
more questions.
Peter will have also some comments.
The screened-in porch,
hmm
what hardship is that alleviated by encroaching on the setback?
Purely the loveliness of sitting outside and enjoying their backyard.
Okay, so really no hardship. I totally understand wanting to sit outside, and I totally understand wanting to enjoy your property, but it's the extra, I think it's 6.6 feet
Yes. hmm
is what we're asking.
hmm And that there is nowhere else to put it, to make it useful as a screen porch on the same level as the rest of the house. Having it accessible off of the bedroom is not that helpful for eating.
Okay, and just so that I'm understanding, when I look at the schematic that we were issued,
hmm
it said that the septic was to be determined, the location, but you've now determined it, and it's under the, or right adjacent to the screen porch in the front of the property as it faces on the west side of the property?
It's what is shown here on the very bottom, that rectangle.
Order next to on the main.
No,
side.
that's the new proposed disposal field.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead. What was your question?
My question was, when I look at my schematic, it says verify septic location next to the septic tank.
And that's been approved instead.
I mean, this is the old one.
That's the old septic. Okay, I don't have that. That's why I'm asking, because this says verified. So that's why I'm asking you
Oh,
have
okay.
verified it. And it is located in front of the screen porch that faces the west side of the property or that faces Main Street.
Yes, 18 feet. Yeah.
Okay, and now you're just going to push it out a little farther when
We're-
you build the new one.
The new one doesn't require drain fields that are separated so widely, so it fits in a dimension about
Okay.
like that. Yep, uh-huh.
Okay.
And Bob Savage designed both of these. I apologize, I think I didn't find that when we sent that around with Mark.
Okay.
Anybody else have any questions?
For me?
Has the septic been approved by the county?
It's down with the county. Bob's been ill, he hasn't made the application yet, but it has been sent, the location, and this is Bob's location. I didn't make this up down here.
No,
Yeah.
I understand.
So it's in process of being approved.
So, Mark, I have a question, if I can, for you, while we're talking. If we go through and, let's just say we hypothetically approve the variance tonight, if the system hasn't been approved in the new location and they begin construction, now we've kind of put the cart before the horse.
So in order for me to issue a permit, I have to send the application to the health department.
Okay?
They will review it, they will sign off on it and send it back to me before I issue a permit.
So even if we approve it without a septic, it's still okay because there's
Right.
a
I cannot
check?
issue a building permit without the health department approval.
Okay.
And Nick Spangler wouldn't build it.
Well, it's-
Yeah,
I understand, but
understood.
I've seen some crazy things, and once you start building, then you go, well, now it's a hardship because I've already put 15,000 or 30,000 into my dwelling, and you won't let me.
Understood. Okay.
Mr. Becker, did you want to?
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Peter Becker. My wife is not here tonight, but I wanted to thank you for the opportunity to be in front of you. We've requested a variance for the zoning regulations for 6024 Lewis Street. We've been the property owner since 2012. The property has been described as a lovely old waterman's cottage with historic value, built in 1907. We purchased the house in 2012 and understood that the house was moved to the current location. The location of the house is clearly out of compliance with the current zoning laws and the narrow depth of the lot limits and the ability to adhere to the 25-foot front and rear setback. This appears to be true of many homes on Lewis Street and the surrounding streets. The current bedroom, as Laura had reviewed, is accessible for a very small stairwell, which is quite narrow and requires you to duck your head as you ascend and descend the stairs. As we enter our late 60s, the access is becoming increasingly challenging. The ability to have an accessible bathroom on the first floor and a bath with a walk-in shower would increase the functionality of the home as well as allowing us to age in place. We'd also like to extend the porch on the existing deck area by 6 feet to allow us to create a screen porch that's architecturally consistent with the house. We can't imagine living on a home in Chincoteague without a screen porch in the summer. And I've spoken to our neighbors to the south, Nancy Simmons, about the deck extension, and she's offered to write a letter of support if requested. We'd also like to cover that deck area of the proposed master bedroom that would allow us an even access to the existing deck. One of the things that I think is important for us, based on our love of the house, is really the historic nature of the house. The ability to have something and protect it based on its history, and also architecturally design something that adds to the value of the house, is very important to us on the basis of it. As noted, we'd also have sent certified letters to the adjoining property owners, and at this point, we haven't had any response that people have issues with it on the basis of it. The ability for us to add the space and also have a new septic system would allow us to enjoy the property as well as protect the environment for Chincoteague. And we thank you for your kind consideration for our request.
Anybody have any questions? Mr. Becker?
Is there any, since you want a screen porch and you want a covered screen porch, is there any reason why you haven't covered and screened in your existing screen porch, your existing deck?
Not really. We have a front screen porch that's actually off the front door now.
Right.
So we actually have used that from a point.
Eliminating
We would. That would be more or less.
if you eliminated that, is there any reason why you couldn't screen in, and you have sliding doors that go out onto the porch from the kitchen? Is there any reason why you couldn't cover that and put a screen that in?
We had just looked at, I guess feasibility-wise, we had looked at trying to look at the adjustment to the house with the addition and to see if we could adjoin that and actually use that. There's sort of a walk-through area there. It's not the functionality of it for us at this point. It would be better to have something that was sort of covered and also out of the sun.
Okay, let me rephrase that. I understand what you're trying to do. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm asking you is there any reason why you could not cover and screen the existing deck that is there now?
I guess we probably could. The big thing was trying to also extend a roof line over that so that we'd actually, that right now doesn't have a roof over it. It's just a porch area.
Well, you could gable a roof just like you're gabling the roof in the new screen room. Yeah.
Well, it's something that I guess we could potentially review.
It would only be 6 feet, excuse me, instead of 12.
But that's what's there.
Yeah,
Right.
that's fine.
And have you considered, instead of building a screen porch and a new deck, building perhaps a patio with a gazebo, a screen gazebo on it?
We hadn't really looked at that. I think it's actually better for us, to have something on the upper side rather than down in the grass area.
I understand. Thank you.
Did you have any questions?
Yeah, I have. I only see one hardship here. That's your stairway. That's your stairway, and the reason I see that is because I've experienced growing up in one of them.
We've all,
And I've got a rental that's got one of them. So I don't think in a few years you're gonna go upstairs, not in, if it's like the ones that I've experienced. That's all I gotta say.
Okay. The other thing I think within the, if we looked at the a potential hardship, it based on where the property, where the house is presently located, and if we were actually to go through the expense of moving the house so that it actually fit on that lot to have proper set-asides, that would be a pretty significant expense.
And I went down that street today. It's a lot of close quarters in that area.
Mm-hmm. And I know the property to our south is, is adjoined to a property at Main Street, and it's essentially it's just a grass area, and it doesn't really impinge if we actually looked at that on the basis of it. I don't think the potential variance of siting things, it's really not going to really encroach on anybody's direct view to the property if we would handle it that way.
Who owns the property where they're clearing off next to your driveway? Does that go with the house that?
That would be the house behind us.
Behind that.
Yes, it is, yeah. And it was sort of under disrepair, but I think folks from New Jersey have bought it and are beginning to sort of rehab it.
Anybody else? All right, I guess not. So
Okay, thank you very much for your consideration.
we don't have any public here for have public participation, so we'll go into discussion. Board. Go ahead.
I perfectly understand the need for a first floor bedroom, and I've been fighting that fight on a number of levels. I don't understand one thing. I don't understand why this bedroom couldn't have been offset to the front. And I do understand it would be an architectural challenge. I think it could be made pretty. You could have, if you took this entire addition and slid it 8 feet to the left, then I don't think it's non-conforming anymore, is it, Mark?
It would meet their setbacks then.
It would meet the setback.
Could it be like 26 foot?
Yeah.
The decks and the porches would.
Yeah,
Well, I'm not talking about the
Right.
deck and the porch. I'm talking about the house. We have two subjects here. I'm going to get to that in a minute. I'm talking about the bedroom, which is the hardship. So that, as far as I'm concerned, I would say that we should approve. Well, we don't even have to approve it if it's moved, correct? Because it then meets the setbacks. It's a conforming
It would meet setbacks, would be conformed.
So I would recommend that they move it, and I don't see any reason why, I don't see any hardship that we need to address to give them a new deck that walks from the bedroom all the way back to a new screen porch that infringes. There's no hardship there. They could build a patio, they could have a gazebo, they could screen in the existing porch. There's no hardship that's being created by not having a new deck. So I would not be in favor of the new screen porch or the new deck. I could go either way on the bedroom. You know, I do realize that it's the existing lines and it's the existing lines of the street and the existing lines to the back. I don't know what our ruling as a BZA should be, whether two rights make a wrong or two wrongs make a right, rather. You know, it's a non-conforming building now. Do we approve another non-conforming building that follows the same footprint of the existing non-conforming building, or do we ask them to conform when they clearly have enough property to conform?
Well, on their new screen porch, the 12-foot one there, I can understand why they'd want it there right off of the kitchen.
I understand why they want it there, but.
So they could enjoy their,
But they have a
Meal.
12-foot, they have a 6-foot screen of porch there right now.
yeah.
So they can enjoy it. If they cover that up and screen it, they'll have a 6-foot deck that goes the length of the kitchen there that they can enjoy out there. And I understand that it would be nicer to have a 12-foot, you know, it'd be nicer to, a lot of things that would be nicer, but they have to conform.
But they need the, where they're gonna have their new bedroom, that's where the setback comes in, right? That's where they need.
Well, that's what they, well, no,
The
also the
setback
deck.
comes in for both.
So the deck can, they want to go to 6 feet to the
Well,
property line
that's
with the deck.
It's like I say, they got a hardship.
I
The
agree.
stairway, I've experienced it,
I agree.
and that's what I gotta say about it.
I think that we should, I could be swayed either way on the bedroom, although I don't know why it shouldn't be staggered to conform. They can have this exact same bedroom and move it 6 feet or 8 feet closer to the street, with Lewis Street, and have exactly the same house and exactly the same bedroom and alleviate the hardship. I don't see why we should give it a variance for the deck. I don't. There's no hardship. And our mission as a BZA is not to grant people architectural license to make something pretty. It's to, if somebody has been denied a permit and they feel that that's creating a hardship, correct me if I'm wrong, Mark. It's our job to say, oh yes, your hardship overcomes the zoning requirements. And I understand that having another bedroom might do that, but having a prettier porch does not.
My only point is, with respect, may I interject or what?
Come to the mic if you would, so they pick it up.
Oh, well, it's just, I've been here a long time. I know haven't done a variance for a long time, but it's that somehow, some way, I believe, to consider it's not just pretty. It isn't. I mean, you know, a new house, you can make this look prettier than that, but there is a value to the historic situation. You know, the continuity of Chincoteague and the aspect that it's a real house that has been, and also the fact that the zoning in that area has a bunch of narrow streets. We're essentially in the backyard of the house on Main Street, and the imposition of an R3 zoning, a bunch of people are going to be visiting you all with similar needs in the future. That's my only issue. I'm not even going to argue about it, but it is something that I think should be considered.
There's something before the planning
Yeah.
committee now dealing with all of the needs of the elderly
Yeah,
and aging and
well-
things, and I'm involved with that. But what we're dealing with here is a setback issue.
Of course, yeah. I'm just saying that the setback ends up conflicting with historic value. I agree with what Denise Bowden's been trying to do for a long time, and this isn't the place to debate it, but that's just the issue I would bring up. Thanks.
Before Ms. Luntz,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have one more question. All of with the exception of the screen porch, which exceeds 6.6 feet past the decks.
Yeah,
All of the other decks that are constructed or rebuilt will be at the same distance from the house that already exists, correct? Did I word that correctly?
From the back property line.
Right,
Ye-
they won't
yes.
encroach on the back property because the house isn't moving, so as long as they're the same distance from the house, or they're not going to encroach on the back property line, or the rear.
they're all the same
They're all going to be the same.
distance
We're not
from the
gonna
house.
increase any other deck other than
Right.
that screen porch
Right,
by 6.6
Right.
feet. Okay.
I don't know if there's no stage within the
I
same-
think to answer this question, I think the only one deck that's ain't there now would be what the 3 foot by 25 6 that extends out from the new deck, out by the new addition. That's all new deck, right?
there is new deck off of the bedroom, is that what? Yeah,
Two
but
bedroom?
that it extends in the same
Same
plane.
That's the bedroom.
Yeah,
Mine's not-
yeah.
No, it's not, 'cause it's different than one end than the other.
So where they want to add in the bedroom, it's a lot closer to the property line than where
Yes.
it is now,
Because of the angle.
because of the
Yes.
angle of the lot.
No, absolutely, I understand that. And I understand your point of they could move they could move the addition.
Yeah.
I also, of the two areas that they're asking for the two variances or the variance for, I am more likely to, I think that the bedroom is more of a valid hardship than the porch. I don't think the screened-in porch, although I understand Mr. Becker's concern in wanting to have a lovely screen porch on his property in the summer, or even in the spring or fall on Chincoteague.
Thank you.
Well, here's what I gotta say about that. I went down that street today, and there's a lot of places that could look better just by the homeowner. This guy here has got a hardship. He doesn't need to be going up them stairs. I don't know how old he is, but I'm 70-some years old, and I don't need to be going up.
70 this week.
But nevertheless, I think if you're gonna give him the variance and he wants to make the house look better, this is me talking, I hope it's clear to this board to approve it. That's all I got to say about it.
I agree with the hardship on the bedroom and the staircase.
Absolutely.
That's definitely
I
hard.
disagree that they need a new 12-foot porch to address that hardship. They have a porch. They had the porch when they bought the house.
Yeah, but they're gonna lose that porch.
No, they won't.
Yes, they will when
No,
they add
they
this
won't.
room on.
No, they won't. No, if all they do is build this addition, there's no reason for them to touch the existing porch.
We're not talking the porch in the front, because that one's gone. The screened-in porch
That'll be gone.
that they wish to construct on the side of the in the rear of the property, that is non-conforming. They do not, at least in David's, in my opinion, they don't have to extend it another 6.6 feet. What they have now existing is non-conforming, and they could screen that in.
Right, here's a picture of the
It would
deck.
belong in there.
Here's a picture
I'm
of the
sorry?
deck they have now.
I say it would be long and narrow.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it wouldn't be what Mr. Becker or Mrs. Becker are looking for, or would like to have, but
Was that porch there when you bought the house?
Yes.
So you bought the house knowing, and you've had the house since 2012, and that was the porch.
So it's
So you had
buyer
the- you had the
beware.
porch. That was the deck. Okay.
I have no more questions.
Any more questions?
I have no more.
No?
Okay, with no more questions, we'll close that part of the participation and we'll have, you want to have a discussion between board members and then we'll call for the,
Yeah, how do you guys feel about, I mean, and I don't know what historically the precedent is or whatever. I've built a number of houses, so I'm familiar with the architectural challenges of having an offset, but there are a lot of houses here with additions that are offset. They can be made very pretty. I don't see any reason why it shouldn't be offset. I think I believe you were the architect who designed this?
Yes.
Yeah. Is there any reason why it could not be offset to be closer? I understand that you would like it to be preserved differently, but is there any,
It's more traditional to the style of big house, little house lined up in a row.
I understand.
The main thing is the different volumes being
but
smaller.
it could be done?
Everything could be
Architect.
done.
Okay. So I have no problem with it building a bedroom. I will go with whatever the rest of the board feels, whether it should be offset to the left, which would be my recommendation, in which case they wouldn't need a variance. Or if you wanted the shotgun approach, which I'm not sure it would preserve the architectural style of the house, but I understand what they're saying. I could go with that, but I will not agree to the deck, to the new porch and the new deck. I understand completely about those staircases. I've taken some of them out and put in new ones. I've whacked my head many times on them. And, I'm 72 and I don't want to be going up and down them anymore either. So I agree 100% that they should have the ability to add that bedroom and the bathroom, move the septic, assuming they get approval. And I can either approve it to the side, which is where I would like to see them move it, to be conforming, because they have enough room to conform. The architect just didn't do it that way, but it could be done that way, and it could be done that way very attractively. And if not, then the way it is drawn here. But I won't, so I think we have to split this into two votes.
Yeah, you are. Okay, well, you ready to call for a vote? And we'll be
Absolutely.
voting on the bedroom as it appears on the drawing right now.
Now, I just have one question.
Go ahead.
And let me bring Mark into this as well. If we only have one variance request, can we split it? Or do we have to vote on it as one variance? So that when we word this, we word it properly.
Not sure, but I think if you just approve the variance and stipulation that you're approving the variance for
The bedroom and
the
not,
bedroom
what I'm
only
saying, we
and
can't,
not
we,
for the
but we can't
deck, right,
separate it, we just,
stipulation.
We've done that many
okay.
times.
Right.
We just have to word it so that
But-
we,
Won't we have to go back and vote on the deck separate because,
Well, it depends on how you make your motion or what you approve, I would think. You know, if you
Okay.
appro-
well, I think to do it right, I think you need to separate it.
But we
Can
only
I-
have
can I-
one
can I-
variance.
Can I have a discussion
Go ahead.
before you?
Please.
How do you guys feel about the offsetting it versus the shotgun as it's drawn? Do you think that having it as drawn is okay?
Well, I'll tell you how I feel about it. And naturally, the hardships, like you said, is in the bedroom. Whatever you do to that house will enhance that street. And I'm a true believer of that. And I just hope it's the pleasure of the board to approve it. It doesn't look like it the way we're talking, but I think what I see down there, it would enhance
No,
the whole works.
We're all agreeing that they should be able to build a bedroom to avoid the staircase. The only question I have of you three is if they move that bedroom to the left, 8 feet, then then it's a conforming, they don't need a variance. Then it's within the setbacks of the property. How do you feel about that particular topic? That's the
How
only
I
thing.
feel about it is I would, if it was me doing it, I think I would do it just like it is on the drawing,
Okay.
to keep in the style of the old homes on the island. That's my opinion.
I concur.
Okay, then I would make a motion, if there's no further discussion, that we approve the building of the bedroom as drawn, but we do not allow further encroachment into the non-conforming use for a new deck or a new porch.
You have a second on that motion?
I second that.
We've got a,
Can we make another motion?
yes, we can.
I
And make
approve.
it into it or another motion, whatever you want.
Okay, I approve, just like I said, I approve the way they want it.
Okay, so, but one of the things that, we had a motion with a second. So I think you need to have a vote on it.
We can do it. We can
And
do it
then
on it.
after that,
You can move to modify that if you
right,
like.
That's what I'm saying.
I'll just,
Okay.
I don't vote when it comes to that.
No, you have to,
No, you have to
you do
vote.
vote, but you can modify it with another motion.
Yes.
Okay, just for the records, can we get the names who made the motion, somebody takes it up, somebody's got masks on,
Absolutely.
raise their hands so they can
I
see.
made the motion.
Okay.
Ernie.
And I seconded the motion.
That's second. And Mike, did you want to make a change on it before we
I
vote?
want to make a motion that we do it like they presented it to us.
Well, that's what we got on the.
No, we've got a motion on the floor.
That's what we got on the
You-
floor
you have-
right
you
now.
have
So
to-
as it appears.
No, no, what's on the floor now
Okay, that's one.
All right, go
is
ahead.
that they build the bedroom as it is here,
As it appears.
but not,
The screen porch.
not the screen porch or the deck.
That's right. That's what it's appeared.
Now, if after we vote on that, if someone wants to make a modify to address the deck, then they can do that.
Or just have a new vote,
You can do that.
You can vote twice, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
But if you vote yes now, then we're giving them permission to build a bedroom
There,
in the bathroom, the way they have it drawn.
Well, I'm gonna have to vote for them to build it like they want it. That's in my mind, and that's what I'm gonna do. So I
Well,
have
if
to
you
ask,
vote again, if you vote against it, then they can't build it.
Unless you, so,
Mark's gotta explain that to me.
Okay, so what they're explaining the issue now is, they're making a motion now to, when you look at that drawing, on the back of the house behind it, right now is an existing deck back there. They want to add on to that deck, make it bigger. That's got nothing to do really with when they build a bedroom. So they're just going to encroach more with that porch in the back. What the motion is now is let them build the new bedroom and the footprint they got drawn out on the end of the house, but not extend the back deck that's on the other side of the house closer to the property line. That pretty well,
It'll look just like the drawing she
it
said.
looks just like drawing says, but the only thing is, they will not be adding that 6 foot 6 inches closer to back property on another end of the house where the bedroom is not. So when you went down Lewis Street, the gray house is on the right-hand side. That front porch, they're adding the addition to the front of that, the new bedroom addition. On the back side of that porch, where the driveway, on the house where that driveway is, behind it is an existing deck now. They want to extend that deck farther into the encroachment into the property line, to make that deck bigger. So what the board's got, what the commission, the BCA's, motion right now is, the way I understand it, is to approve the new bedroom in the front, but not approve the addition to the back of the deck.
I
So,
understand that.
so they have to do
But
bedroom.
suppose if, we want to make another motion, how do you make, I've never experienced this here, how do you make another motion to just approve the bedroom plus approve the other? That's all I'm asking.
I don't think you can do that.
You can't do that?
He can after we vote on this one. He can vote to modify the motion.
You can vote, yeah.
Mr. Chairman, if I may,
Go ahead.
I think what you have to do is dispense with the first motion. If the motion passes, then the case is settled. If the motion does not pass, another motion can be offered for an alternative, at which time you take up that motion.
Okay.
that sounds correct.
But I'm afraid of it, that they're gonna wind up losing everything.
You would need a majority of the members present, which you have a quorum, you would need a majority of the members present to pass either motion, so that means you would need 3 out of the 4.
Votes to approve, we need 4 votes to approve.
No, majority.
Majority, okay,
You need a majority of the quorum present,
okay.
is my understanding.
So, can I make a motion that the majority, cancel this till the majority is present?
Well, after there's a motion.
Well, if you have to dispense with the first motion that was made first,
No,
It's-
I
if-
think what he's talking about, I think like, is, to postpone this vote until we got all board members present.
Correct.
Am I correct?
You're exactly.
okay, that would be,
That's
Yeah.
up to them, I guess.
again, I would think that'd be at the pleasure of the board,
We have to
if,
take a vote on that.
if you'd want to table this until another meeting.
But I don't think that's not up to us. The client, excuse me, Mr. Becker and Ms. Lynch have come to the board tonight. They've asked for the variance. We've heard their case.
Right.
It's not up to us to decide that we're not gonna we're not gonna hear it tonight. We're here at their beck beck and call to hear their request.
We have had them postpone it if.
Yes, but
the
not at the board's
applicant-
request.
Not in
The
the middle
board
of the
can't
meeting.
request it.
It's always at the beginning of the
At the
meeting.
beginning,
Yes.
You
yeah.
say,
But we don't have,
we've never done that.
well, we
in the
don't
middle
have
of
to
the meeting.
have, we don't have to have the four now with just the majority.
I understand that, so why aren't we voting?
Would you come to the podium and you have something you want to say?
When it's convenient, I mean, I do not mean to be interruptive.
No.
I just wanted to point out with appreciation for all of you trying to work it out. I believe I speak to Peter, with Peter. I think the important thing to him, to the owners, is the bedroom location. And I do believe that design-wise, we can deal with the screen porch in various ways. Thank you very much, though, for attempting to. I think it'll simplify things just to go with your
I have
first,
one other
with your
question.
first motion. Have I got that right
How
in your
much-
mind?
How much space is there between the new side of the house and the property line?
The new side.
You know, between.
In the location of the bedroom, it's an angled property
Where the
line.
bedroom is and where the new septic tank is, what's between there and the property line, what's the setback?
You'd have to measure it. It's 1/8 is at 20 feet.
I mean, you might not have enough, you may have enough room for a porch on that end of the house. Anyway,
I have another idea, so
okay, great, good.
is that all right?
Yes.
We-
So, the motion that I have, which is on the floor, is that we approve the bedroom as drawn. We do not approve the porch or the deck. Is that agreeable to you?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, well, then we've got a motion, we got a second,
We need to vote.
we're gonna call for the vote. All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed? No opposed, so you've got your bedroom addition.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate the conversation.
Thank you.
Okay,
I'm missing the news.
next case, we don't have a next case, so we got a,
Before we adjourn, I have another question, just on how votes are taken. When we do a vote on the variance, the actual vote itself, should it be a roll call, or should it just be, because if there are any nays, you may not know unless
Right,
you're,
if there's an A sitting there, actually, like who made the motion,
Yeah.
Right.
they have to spell it out so we know.
exactly, but also you don't know that,
normally
did I
I do
even
call
say,
the roll.
Right.
Did I even give an
So we can do
affirmative?
a roll call, if he can say, Mr. Smith,
right,
all in
and that,
favor, right.
it's just because you don't know, I mean, you heard four voices, but do you know that the second one was me, or the last one was Mr. McGee?
Yeah, but it doesn't make any difference.
It
first or
doesn't
second,
today
you know.
for this, because they were-
Everybody voted for it, so it.
That's right. So
it's
what
one
difference
point.
that make?
What I'm trying to get at, gentlemen, is that if we have a nay, it has to
It will show,
be,
it will show.
it wouldn't unless we did a roll call.
Normally it is done by roll
A
call.
roll
Gentlemen,
call or raise of hands, or.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Again, if I may, if it's not a unanimous vote, if it's a split decision, the chairman has the option to call for a show of hands,
Okay.
which would do the same
Okay.
thing. If it sounds, if you hear certain voices say yay, certain voices say nay, then chairman say, it's not clear, I want to need a show of hands for yay,
Okay.
show of hands for nay, and that would, we also have video evidence of the meeting, so that would give
Okay.
us an indication of who voted how.
All right, thank you,
Normally I
gentlemen.
do call for individual votes by name. If you recall, I missed you on the first meeting you were
Mhm.
here. So, okay, got X-ray next. Do I hear a recommendation to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
I'll second to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We don't need a roll call.